Exciting times, huh? It's a little bit bittersweet for me because I do like Street Fighter 5, but I'm excited for something new. It's gonna be the first time I get to join you guys like from the first day of a Street Fighter game. I don't have to play the whole catch-up thing. I just get to learn together, and for me, that's pretty exciting. There's a lot of things I'm excited for this new game, but there's a few things in particular I kind of wanted to talk about today. Number one being the cast. You know, it seems pretty diverse. I know we thought there was going to be 22 characters, and there's only 18, but the 18 that they chose pretty much cover every archetype that you could ever want to play. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm not going to play all the archetypes, okay? I'm not going to play Dhalsim. I'm not going to play Marissa or Zangief. I am excited for Juri, Cammy, Manon, Chun, and JP. I think JP's a sleeper. I feel like his trailer might drop and it's going to be really hype. Like, it's just going to come out of nowhere and everybody's going to get really excited. I don't quite know what I expect from him. If he's like an old man type, maybe he moves really slow, he has slow walk speed and a bunch of plus frames like Bison. Who knows? I'd say my complete shot in the dark, like kind of crazy conspiracy theory, is that he's going to use some type of magic or power and he's going to shoot it out of his little cane. That's my hard call out. If that happens, you heard it here first. If it doesn't happen, I didn't say a thing. One thing I am pretty curious about is how balance is going to work, because we've seen some pretty wacky options already. You know, you saw Blanca do a air ball while he was jumping backwards, and he has a little projectile guy. And then you've got Sim, who can like confirm off of one of his limbs and do a little drive rush. I don't know. Nothing seems like broken. I'm just curious to see how it's all balanced together. And however they balance it, just make sure that Honda and Sim are at the bottom. Let's do that for me, Capcom. Keep Honda, Sim, and Blanca at the bottom tier. And if the T-Hawk girl, if Lily it does like T-Hawk's little, condor dive, let's keep her at the bottom too. God forbid that Honda comes out and he's just broken. That would be really sad, dude. Before I forget about it, let's talk about that single player. That is something that I did not even look for. That was even on my radar. I don't buy fighting games to play single player, right? Not because I don't like it, but I've been conditioned by these developers over the past 2 years that if you buy a game for single player, you aren't going to get it, right? It's like a little side scroller or like it's like a slideshow. You just click through it and they say some text. Or in Arxis' case, it's just a movie. But to see all of that stuff, man, like the World Hub, and you get to make a little character and train with whatever master you choose, seems really cool. Even if I wasn't looking for it, I'm definitely gonna mess around with it. People keep comparing it to 2K like as a joke, but I feel like that's good. People love that aspect of 2K, so if they can replicate that success to even some degree, I feel like it'd be really good at just retaining casual players who like build a relationship with their create a character and they feel like they want to come back and keep working on them and like building up their skills. The way that they were showing your character walking through the lobbies and stuff seems like what Arxis wanted to do with Strive, but it actually seems functional in Street Fighter 6. We don't know if it's functional yet, right? Because we can't even touch the game, but we'll know at the beginning of October when we play that beta. And I'm telling you right now, if that lobby functions the way that it looks like it does in the trailer, that's going to be the new gold standard. Every game, MK, whatever game comes out after this, is going to try to replicate that Battle Hub system to some degree. And Arxis is going to be banging their head against the wall, trying to figure out where it all went wrong with their little pixel Habba Hotel looking Strive lobbies. I don't hate Guilty Gear Strive. It's just that I hate the lobbies, For the 100, 200 hours that I played of that game, most of it was spent just spamming the X button on the little battle stations. And did you guys see on that closed beta thing, it said that there's crossplay in the beta, so between PlayStation, Xbox, and the PC. I think it's only the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, which is good with me, because if you've played Street Fighter 5 and you've played PC to PS4, you know that it's not very good. So I can't even imagine a PS4 running this game with those minimum spec requirements. I think you needed a minimum of like a 1060 or something, and like an i5, I forgot what generation, but it's not super demanding, but it's way higher than the PS4, the base PS4. So I don't know if we're going to be in for like a Cyberpunk situation or what's going to happen, but the base PS4 is not going to run that game like it should. And what I'm kind of hoping, I'm sorry if you're playing on PS4, but what I'm hoping is that the crossplay is only between next-gen consoles and the PC. And if you play on a PS4, you can only play with like PS4, PS5 players or something. Because the problem under the current netcode is that when you play PC to PS4, the PS4 will inherently lag behind the PC, just hardware limitations. But because of that, The PC player, for some reason, is the one that gets the one-sided rollback, and then the game starts desyncing and lagging everywhere. So what I'm hoping is that, one, of course they fixed the netcode. We're going to talk about that in a second. But two, that the reason they're not going to have last-gen consoles play with PC is because maybe they couldn't find the fix for that. So instead of making people suffer for another 6 years, they just cut it out completely. Let's touch on the netcode a little bit. So this is like the one thing that they haven't talked about extensively yet that everybody's kind of holding their breath for, that's still playing Street Fighter right now. Because it's no secret that the Street Fighter 5 netcode is not very good. It's a rollback, but it's not good rollback, and Capcom just kind of fumbled everything. You know, they fumbled the release of Street Fighter 5, but they also fumbled with the netcode for the last 6 years to no avail. I personally feel like, though, if they put so much effort into these game modes that you can play with your friends and the battle hub and all this stuff that works all online, so you can play other people on the internet, they must have put double the time into making sure it all functions correctly, to making sure that the netcode functions so you can use all these online features. At least one would hope, but it is Capcom. They did leave Street Fighter 5 in its current state for the past 6 years, so I'm crossing my fingers. They very vaguely did mention that they had some new iteration of their proprietary rollback they made, but I hope they just brought somebody in to help them this time. That's just the one thing that nobody can compromise on, right? The casuals are not going to compromise on not having a good online experience, and of course the competitive players are not going to compromise and like, you know, give them a pass for not having good online yet again for another iteration of the game. My overall impressions, though, are that they're really going all out. You know, they seems like they have a huge budget. It seems like they put a lot of resources in the right places this time, and they realize they can't recover from a bad launch. Street Fighter 5 has been out for 6 years, and people still cite the launch as the reason why they don't play the game. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine working on a game for 6 years and building it up into a good product finally 6 years later, and people are still trashing on it who haven't played the game since you launched it, because that's how bad it was to them? First impressions are such a big deal, and they really dropped the ball in 5. You know, I could not imagine buying that game for $60, opening it up, and it has features of like the free version of a mobile game. It has like 2 game modes, and that's it. you can't even like buy more game modes like you could in a mobile game. That's all you get. You can play against your friends, you can play online, and the online kind of works sometimes. But this time, you know, seems like they prepared properly. They've got the budget in place. They've had the time to make the game. They had extra time to make the game because COVID kind of slowed things down, so they took some extra time, which I'm glad they did. It would have sucked if they had to rush another game out. But the FGC, I think, is one of the rare crowds that is really accepting of developers taking delays or delaying a game in order to make it better. Other people, like when Cyberpunk got delayed, were like, wow, I took 17 months off of work so I could play this game. I've been waiting 12 years for it. Like, bro, what's another 3 months? Just wait. But yeah, so far, I'm really happy from all perspectives. Content creator, competitor, casual player. Right? I'm going to play that single player. I'm happy. Let me test that netcode and sign off on it, and we'll be good. Everything is covered. I just can't wait to play the game. You know, so many people have gotten to play it already, going out to all these events. I just can't wait to get my hands on it. That's all I got for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again very soon.